Hey guys, coming to you today from the Mad Laboratory again. I want to show you my design. Well, it's just an improved design for my grow out cage on the original design feeder. But I'm going to show you exactly what I got going on. So this is going to sit on the outside of the cage and go like that. I got a little spacer cut that is going to keep the pipe at an angle so that feed will fall into this trough. I've made the back and the side out of some scrap wood and the guards out of some scrap wire, and this is actually a piece of an old Square D electrical panel buddy brought me, and there's a piece of plumber's tape on the back, and then I got a little piece of wood I cut out to hold it all together. So the one out in my breeder's loft that you've seen in my other videos, it is 4-inch reduced down to 2-inch, and I felt like it was probably just a little too big, so I redesigned it, and this model is 3-inch that reduces down to 1.5 inches, that reduces down to 1.25 inches. So I got to glue it together. These T's are probably not going to come apart because I cut, in the business we call a close nipple, a piece of pipe that just goes from here to here, so it just takes up that gap of space in between these two fittings. So I basically cut close nipples and beat them in with a hammer because this is never meant to be pressurized or take water. So that should be good enough. But anything that doesn't feel like it's all the way in there, like these are reducing bushings, we'll go ahead and glue them in there. We'll go ahead and glue this clean out on the back. Alright, well, I'm not going to struggle with that. We'll get it later. Won't glue the cap. We will glue this piece, make it rain tight, and if then we'll glue this piece. So this is a reducing bushing. It goes from 3 to 1.5 inches. This is a 45 degree 3-inch fitting. And this is a little piece of 3-inch pipe. Now, before I broke all this down, I had all this marked. So when I put it back together, it'll be at the same angle that I wanted it at. So, important things to know about gluing pipe. Kind of hard to mess up really, but you don't want to use too much glue. That's probably the biggest thing people mess up on, is they use too much glue or they don't use primer on it beforehand. You want to be rain tight, use primer. Another thing is you want to cut your pipe as square as possible. You want to deburr it if it has been chewed on any. You want to prime it good. So that had a little spot in it right around a screw through it, and I just took the primer and kept running it over through that little high spot until it would eat enough plastic away that it'll slide this on. So you prime one side, you put the glue on one side, spin this over, you're going to prime the inside of your fitting, so about 3 times around is good. 3 times around with the residual glue left on the brush is good. You want to take your 2 fittings, you want to push them together, and you want to hold that with a little turn about halfway. And you want to hold this pressure on there for about 20 seconds. And what that does is it keeps the pipe from pushing out. I know it wasn't nowhere near 20 seconds, but I felt that one slide home. When you've been doing it for a minute, you could kind of tell. So a clean out has a little threaded end on it, and what that does is that allow me to push the feed out if it got wet or or whatnot. It's kind of a backup plan in case. So, real quick, rapid like, I'm gonna get our primer glue. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That one didn't come out. Glue, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I like to count. Ha 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 ha. Alright. Little primer. These are not going to be pressurized, or I'm just basically gluing them to keep the rain out. My can is about to run empty. Alright, got another partial there, and we got more sitting around. Also, when you do this, you can get yourself a nifty little buzz if you like sniffing glue. I don't recommend that. Please don't do that, guys. I was just making a joke, but I'll probably have to hit it back out. Hamilton, nothing to make light of, I don't suppose. Let's switch to another can. Put the man hand on it. Alright. You were a good dad there. Boom, boom, boom. You do not want to go in dry with your socket. And we're not trying to push these all the way in. We just want to create a funneling effect for the feed as it falls out of the tea. So, next thing is the reducing, pushing right here. So 3 rounds of primer. I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in without any primer. I know, you should not do that, but you know what? The primer is running low, guys. Sometimes you just gotta make decisions. Where am I gonna need that primer afterwards? I wanna need it up here where the feed actually sets. Because if the rain hits this and runs down, it's gonna ruin my feed. And in the animal business, feed is money. Money. We don't waste. So again, push, turn, see the line line up, see the line line up, boom. So that's wrong though. Set. You ain't made a mistake. Alright, that's that angle we was looking for. Right there. So good catch on that. Again, hold for a few seconds. I think they recommend 20, but let's not sit around being idiots holding a pipe all day, eh? Few rounds of primer. This 3-inch pipe, guys, is pretty affordable. You can buy a cut section at Home Depot or Lowe's, or your local plumbing supply store. You can probably check there first, if you have one of those left. But just push that in, give her a nice turn, fill her seal, let her go. The cap doesn't get glued on, it just sits on top, holds the feed for you. So once you get this glued up, you're going to want it set, probably an hour. Should be fine after that. But we'll let it tack up good. Come back and we'll put it in.